What is gluten development in pie crust? Imagine making a delicate, flaky pie crust that melts in your mouth. The secret lies in how the gluten forms and behaves during mixing. Gluten development is the process where proteins in flour, mainly glutenin and gliadin, bond when combined with liquid. This creates a network that gives the dough structure and elasticity. For bread, strong gluten is good because it helps the dough rise and become chewy. But for pie crust, we want just enough gluten to hold the shape without making it tough. When you mix flour with cold water or other liquids, gluten strands start to form. If you mix too much or knead the dough heavily, these strands become stronger and more extensive. That results in a crust that is chewy and dense, which is not what we want for a tender, flaky pie crust. Instead, gentle mixing is key. Using all-purpose flour, which has a moderate amount of gluten, helps control this process. Add just enough cold water to bring the dough together and mix briefly. This way, you develop enough gluten for structure but avoid overworking the dough. Fats like butter and shortening are also important. When you cut cold butter into the flour, it coats some of the flour particles. This coating interferes with gluten strands bonding too tightly. As the butter melts during baking, it creates layers and pockets of steam, which push apart the gluten network. This separation results in a flaky texture. Another technique to control gluten development is chilling the dough. Resting it in the refrigerator allows the gluten strands to relax and prevents toughness. When you use a technique called phrasage, you smear butter into thin layers within the dough. This creates laminated layers that further improve flakiness by separating gluten strands with fat. In the end, gluten development in pie crust is about finding a balance. You want enough to give the dough structure so it can be rolled out and shaped. But you also want to keep it tender and flaky. Proper mixing, careful fat incorporation, and chilling are the main ways to achieve this. When done right, your pie crust will be perfectly flaky and tender, ready to impress with every slice.